What would you do if the one person you swore to protect disappeared without a trace? Officer Daniel Harper wasn't the type to bend rules. At 38, he'd seen enough of Chicago's underbelly to know the streets didn't forgive. His days were a blur of patrol cars, paperwork, and the weight of a badge that felt heavier each year. But every Tuesday and Thursday, for 6 weeks, he'd park his cruiser near the corner of 47th and Ashland, grab 2 sandwiches from Marty's Deli, and sit on a cracked bench with Lena. Lena was a mystery wrapped in a tattered coat. A black woman in her late 50s, she had eyes that sparkled with stories she rarely told. She'd been homeless for years, she said, but never begged. Instead, she'd trade a smile or a quip for a coffee. Daniel first met her when she waved him over, joking that his cruiser siren was off-key. Something about her warmth disarmed him. Soon, their lunches became routine: ham on rye for him, turkey on wheat for her. They'd talk about everything: jazz, the Cubs, the city's old soul. She never asked for pity, and he never offered it. It was just human. He didn't know much about her past. She'd drop hints: a daughter she hadn't seen in years, a job as a nurse before life unraveled. Daniel didn't push. He figured she'd share when she was ready. But he noticed things: the way her hands shook when she mentioned trouble following her, the way she'd glance over her shoulder when a car slowed nearby. He'd ask if she needed help, but she'd just laugh it off, saying, "Trouble's old news, Danny." Then, on a chilly October Thursday, she didn't show. Daniel waited an hour, his sandwich untouched. The bench felt emptier than it should. He checked the shelter on 49th, the soup kitchen, even the alley where she sometimes slept. Nothing. Lena was gone, like smoke in the wind. Days turned into weeks. Daniel couldn't shake the gnawing in his gut. He started digging. He pulled her file: Lena Marie Carter, no arrests, no record since a nursing license expired in 2003. He canvassed the neighborhood, showing her photo to shopkeepers, street vendors, anyone who might have seen her. Most shook their heads. A few whispered about a ghost haunting the streets, a woman who'd vanish when you looked too close. Daniel didn't buy ghost stories, but the unease grew. One night, a teenage girl approached him at the precinct. She was maybe 16, with Lena's eyes and a nervous edge. "You're the cop who knew my mom," she said, clutching a faded photo of Lena. Her name was Aisha, Lena's daughter. She hadn't seen her mother in a decade but got a cryptic voicemail 2 weeks ago. Lena's voice, rushed, saying, "I'm sorry, baby. I'm fixing things." Aisha tracked Daniel down through a shelter worker who'd seen them eating together. She handed him a crumpled note Lena had left her years ago, with an address scrawled in shaky ink: 2319 W. Roosevelt. The address led to a boarded-up clinic, long abandoned. Daniel's flashlight cut through the dark as he stepped inside, the air thick with dust and mildew. Medical files littered the floor, some with Lena's name. She'd worked there, but there was more: records of missing patients, shady prescriptions, a doctor's name tied to a cartel. Lena hadn't just been a nurse. She'd been a whistleblower, fired when she got too close to the truth. The trouble she'd mentioned wasn't random. It was a shadow with a name. Daniel's heart raced as he pieced it together. Lena hadn't vanished by choice. She'd been running, maybe hiding, maybe trying to protect Aisha. He called for backup, but before it arrived, he heard footsteps. A figure bolted from the Shadowsome man, wiry, with a scar across his cheek. Daniel gave chase, weaving through alleys, his breath burning. The man slipped away, but not before dropping a burner phone. Its call log showed one number, over and over, tied to a name Daniel recognized: Dr. Ellis, the clinic's old director. The truth exploded like a grenade. Lena had been a target, not a ghost. Daniel worked with Aisha, combing through Lena's old notes, piecing together a case that exposed a network of corruption: doctors profiting off vulnerable patients, using the clinic as a front. Lena's disappearance wasn't random. She'd been silenced, or so they thought. A week later, a tip led Daniel to a safe house in Gary, Indiana. There she was: Lena, alive but shaken, hiding with a friend who'd helped her escape. She'd been planning to testify, gathering evidence all those years on the streets. When Daniel saw her, he didn't ask questions. He just handed her a turkey sandwich. She smiled, tears in her eyes, and said, "You're late, Danny." They laughed, but it was heavy with relief. Lena reunited with Aisha, and Daniel testified alongside her, bringing down Ellis and his network. The badge felt lighter that day. Lena's story wasn't just about survival, it was about courage, about a woman who refused to let the world break her. Daniel learned that protecting someone isn't just about a badge. It's about showing up, listening, caring. Even when the truth feels like it might explode everything you know. Yindi.